Okay, so I want to precurse this conversation with saying I do not know your life. I do not know your life circumstances. I am strictly speaking from my experience. And my experience is I was not born a natural hustler, quote unquote, but at the age of 18, I went to college in Las Vegas. So I think of myself as at a formative age, at an age where I was very vulnerable, became a hustler in a city that everybody has a couple of hustles. And once that once anything is ingrained in your brain at a young age, it's really hard to unexperience that there's so many people out there, for me in my head and my heart, that never take a day off hustling. Whether they are, it doesn't matter where your money is coming from. And I'm saying this because it was brought up to me that a fellow hairstylist, I just know that a lot of girls and guys that go to cosmetology schools, trade programs in general, are on government assistance. And there is no shame in that. I'm here to tell you, get your money, get it for as long as you can. If you are not on government assistance, if you are getting help from anybody, get your money, get it where you can. I am here to tell you, learn how to manage your money. It doesn't matter where you're getting your money from. Well, it does. I hope you're not a hired for kills, hitman. But you need to learn how to manage your money. I was terrible with money before I became a hairstylist, but I was making a lot of money, and I knew when I became a hairstylist, it would be a grind before I was going to make a lot of money again. So the second I started making money as an assistant, and I was making $300 a week, right? From that salon, I knew that I had to start saving money, and I started saving $100 a month. It was really hard, but I knew I had to get in the practice of saving money because I was walking into an industry where stylists were making a ton of money. The financial crisis hit, and they had stories upon stories of making all this money. And then they weren't making all that money anymore. They had to adjust their business plans. Salon owners had to adjust their business plans. It was something that I felt concerned for my career because I didn't know if I was ever going to be able to financially survive. But I'm really glad that this was a second career of mine. I'm glad that I listened to people who had money, and I just started being in the practice of saving money. I put it in a Roth IRA, which is a retirement fund. And that's because I plan on retiring one day. So that is something, it's important to do that. If you want to retire one day, if one day you don't want to hustle every single day, start now with that dream. We hear a lot about how, if you put it out in the universe, it's just going to come to you. And that's totally true. You put it out in the universe as a hairstylist that you want to make money. People are going to give you money because you give them a haircut. And I'm telling you, do whatever you can to start saving money. Now, I put it in a Roth IRA because I listened to people who had real money. And when I say that, I'm talking about people who can go into a bank and the bank will loan them money. If you have people in your life that are asking you for help, asking people for help that are not banks, those are not people who have real money. So don't listen to them. That is in every socioeconomic class. I know people like my own boyfriend. He started sweeping parking lots when he was 12 years old, just so he and his brothers could save enough money to go and get McDonald's. He grew up extremely low income. One of the most successful people I have ever met. And I did not grow up that way. I grew up in a community where everyone I know, well, except for one friend, one friend, everyone I knew, they were getting a blank check. They never had to worry about a roof over their head. They never had to worry about food in their stomach. And they still all live that way. And there is nothing wrong with that. But they are getting their own government assistance. And it's called, my husband, my wife, a lot of them work. But I'm just telling you right now, if you are strapped and you feel like you are never going to get out of your circumstance, stay focused. Because all the hairstylists I know that did not have a handout, it's the first weekend of June. A lot of kids are out of school and people are on vacation. The hairstylists that I follow on Instagram, they're all working at the hair show in Orlando They're all hustling. They do not stop. And those are the people that I'm trying to explain to you. There are so many different routes that you can take as a cosmetologist, but it's easy in cosmetology school because you're there so many hours out of the day. You can look at your fellow students and you look at your instructors and you think, is this it? Is this what I'm going to be? And I'm here to tell you, one day, like myself, I have no problem being a cosmetology school instructor one day. You know why? Because I'll be retired. I'm saving for my retirement. So this is just a concept that I know is not taught in cosmetology school. They will encourage you to save money. They're in the service industry in general. I mean, I even had this when I was working in restaurants. Career servers would come up to me when I was in college and they would say, don't drop out of school, stay in school, stay in school. Now, I come from a family of people who are they all have a formal education. And I would think, why are they telling me to stay in school? And only after a year did I realize they tell me to stay in school because they dropped out. They didn't save their money and their bones are aching from being career servers. Our bones as hairstylists, you cannot be a hairstylist until you're 75. I mean, I know now that I just said that someone is a hairstylist out there that's 75 and killing it. I'm just saying on average, start planning for your retirement while you're in cosmetology school. Because more often than not, people will tell you that, I went to when you run into a cosmetologist that has their license, they say, yeah, I did it for a little bit, but this. Yeah, I did it for a little bit, but this. And the reason I believe in my heart that a lot of cosmetologists are not successful after they have achieved, this great thing in their life. They were disciplined. They believed in themselves. They went to cosmetology school. They studied hard for the test. They have their license. And the whole time they were in cosmetology school, they were not taught about how to drive yourself. They were not taught about business development. They were not taught about human emotion. They were not taught about sales. And they were given this idea of that, sorry, I lost my train of thought. This passion that is within hairstylists and within the cosmetology world. So I'm talking about nail technicians. I'm talking about estheticians. There's a lot of cosmetologists who end up going to nursing school. Look at Instagram. Look at everyone's faces these days. Become a nurse and get into cosmetics, right? Anyway, I'm rambling now on a Sunday morning, but I just want to instill that within you now that part of getting your dreams done is preparing for your retirement.